It is the second leg of the four-year-old series that headlines Sunday's meeting at Sha Tin. Welcome to Racing to Win. This is Hong Kong's twice-weekly racing show, and joined on the panel today by Paul Lally and Tom Wood. And Tom, Romantic Warrior, is looking to do the classic double.
He certainly is, Mark. Hello, everyone. He was terrific in the Classic mile last start. He's got such a good turn of foot. He was able to run down California Spangle over the final stages. The Irishman finishing close up third. Plenty of other nice runs behind, but I think Romantic Warrior, despite drawing wide, can make another winning effort this weekend.
Sha Tin rides for Danish. And what about jackpots leading into Sunday, Paul?
Yeah, a couple of good ones. 5.7 million going into the triple trio. And the third double trio, there's 1.7 million going to that. So a decent jackpot there. And that's on races 9 and 10. And they're two really good races to finish as well.
Yeah, they sure are. But the races we're going to focus on as we have a look at the information for the meeting coming up on this Sunday. Can tell you the weather's going to be beautiful at Sha Tin as opposed to last week where we raced on a yielding track. That won't happen. It's dual course racing with three on the all weather. The first at 1 o'clock, the two races that we do focus on here, races 8 and 10, the Hong Kong Classic Cup and also the Lek Yuen Handicap. Four-year-old start time 4:35 for the 8th. 1800 is the trip, and California Spangle second to Romantic Warrior in the Classic Mile. They both step up in trip for the first time, as does the Irishman and I'm a Single Man. Senor Toba missed a start on the 3rd of February. He had a lame left hind. Chiron Red Star has got the tongue tie going on. Rocket Spade, the 8, wears a crossover noseband. Garida steps up in trip 2 from the 1600 metres to the 1800. We've got Money Catcher having his second go over the 1800 in Hong Kong and hit the shot with the blinkers coming off. Speed map time. Now, things will change a bit from the Classic Mile, certainly for Romantic Warrior here, Tom, because he had barrier 1 in the mile. He's got a much wider draw this week.
And he's got the potential of being caught to 3 wide, maybe without some cover, but Sha Tin will be definitely looking for some cover with him, Romantic Warrior. California Spangle, though, should be able to lead. He showed a good turn of foot from barrier 13 last start, Paul. He's come up with barrier 6 to cross his stablemate I'm a Single Man, who was also handy last start. But the other horse that's likely to be there is Intrepid Winner.
Yeah, that's just a query with Intrepid Winner because he did go forward last time. It didn't really work out. So we'll see what they do with him. Senor Toba should get himself into a nice position. Money Catcher is another one that can go forward and maybe he can get outside the I'm a Single Man if Intrepid Winner doesn't want to be there because he's got barrier 8. So we'll see where he ends up, Money Catcher.
All right, so that's how the boys think that the speed map is going to pan out for the Classic Cup. Previous winners, though, Tom, there's some fine names amongst these.
Yes, Healthy Happy was a winner last season for Alexi Bedell and Frankie Law, of course, Golden 60 the year before. Bit of an upset with Mission Tycoon, so Frankie's won 2 of the last 3 editions. Singapore Sling there for Chad Schofield and also Tony Millard, and of course the great horse Rapid Dragon, who we never got to see the best of.
And some stats, Paul, including this is a race that you have said has produced some long-priced winners in the last 10 years.
Yeah, look, the longest has to be you, John Size. I remember him winning at 125 to 1. Look, the other horses like Healthy Happy won last year at 24s as well. Zach Purden never won it before, but Rapid Dragon did win when he won the Triple Crown at 1.7.
Well, with the fact that we've had some of those long-priced winners, Tom, if you had to pick one from outside the square, maybe not even in your top 4 at value, who would you have?
I'm going to throw out Money Catcher because I thought his run last start was pretty good. He was formerly known as Jason Beltry in New Zealand. And look, he's run a pretty good race last start. On ratings, yes, he would have to certainly step up, but I think he should get a good enough run in transit and up to 1,800 metres. I think that will certainly assist him again.
What about you, Paul?
I like I'm a Single Man. I think I'm a Single Man's going to get a really suck run just in behind his stablemate, and he's going to be there for a long period. He went quite well over the 1600. He's my Gingerbread Man who did win a derby in Singapore, so there is a lot of staying on that side of the family anyway.
Money Catcher for Tom, I'm a Single Man for Paul. Romantic Warrior is where we start, though. Sha Tin did it in the Classic Mile. He partners again in the Classic Cup, and he had a chat via Zoom with Nick Child.
Karis, a big weekend coming up here in Hong Kong. It's the 4-year-old Classic Cup, and you will jump aboard your Classic Mile winner, Romantic Warrior. That was a massive win last time in the first leg.
Yes, Nick, of course, I'm very happy to be running him again and looking forward to running him on the weekend. He's a really progressing horse, and last time it was a very strong win from him. So things are looking good for now.
Just on his work since, Karis, how has he been since that mile? And I know you've got quite a bit to do with this horse.
He's actually going very well. I would say since his last run, he is definitely improved a lot, physically and mentally. He's progressing nicely. There's lots of positive things about him in the morning. His gross gallop was very good. Galloped him again this morning. He's feeling like he's ready to go. So it's gonna be an interesting race for him, and just looking forward to running him.
What do you make of the trip, Karis? He's going up an extra furlong in distance. I mean, he was doing all his best work late last time. Do you feel the trip holds any sort of any question marks for him, or are you happy with the 18?
I think no problem for him, to be honest. Last time after I jumped off him, I said to Danny, even going the Derby trip, there's no problem for this horse. He's just such a relaxing horse. Nothing worry him, and he's got that strong turn of foot. Like you could see last time, he got hold up, but then once he got the clear run, he really responded well when I pressed the button. So that's the main key about him. And I think even stepping up over further, where he can just follow slip behind the horses, but he will have that turn of foot to give you that last 200 meter.
It's a nice long run down the back straight, Karis, over the 1800 meters here at Sha Tin. Obviously, he has got an extra furlong to play with. What about the draw? Is that very much a negative, being drawn very much the other side of the field? You're in 13 compared to being inside in the mile.
Yeah, of course. That's the only thing we have to now think about. And last time we had a sweet run from drone 1, so it's gonna be a game changer from outside gate for him. But we're gonna go through a race. Of course, I will speak to Danny to make a plan what we're gonna do. Of course, it's gonna be a bit tricky, but like you mentioned, it's a long back straight from that 1800. We got a bit of time to make a decision where we want to be, but also I have to keep in mind that I can't overuse him. Let him do what he wants to do, so he can produce his powerful kick in the last 200 meter. So it's gonna be a bit tricky, but that long back straight will definitely help us to get a position.
There he is, Sha Tin, who rides Romantic Warrior. Going back to his last start here, Paul, and the sectional times for the Classic Mile, he was able to get past California Spangle, and he's not an easy horse to get by.
No, he did. He had the perfect run on the rail, didn't he? And he managed to get past him. Of course, California Spangle drew wide, Romantic Warrior drew 1. It's the other way around now, so that's a little query there.
You could see that California Spangle took the pace out of the race in that third section, 24-25, but Romantic Warrior had that good turn of foot to win the gap open to be able to pierce on through.
Some trial analysis now, Tom, and this is from Sha Tin recently. There's California Spangle where he likes to be. He led up in this trial. Money Catcher, who you've thrown out at some value, also appears in it. Turin Red Sun. His best run in Hong Kong was in the Classic Mile last time. We've also got Rocket Spade out wide. He gets back and runs on. The Irishman in the white and blue colours in Senor Toba. His trial was terrible, but it was way too short for what he's looking for.
Yeah, it wasn't an impressive trial at all from Senor Toba there, but California Spangle was good in front. The horse 2 was outside, of course, was able to win on Wednesday night, a strong Class 2 race, Majestic Star. Turin Red Sun, he has stayed on okay, as to his Money Catcher. We've got a little lukewarm Paul on Rocket Spade, and you can see the trial there from Senor Toba yourself.
Yeah, and look, the Irishman had a quiet one out the back as well and hit the line nicely. Of course, 1,200 metre trial. So, I mean, the thing with California Spangles, we know he's a top-class horse. It's just a query over the 1,800.
Tom did mention Senor Toba was up with the leaders by the time they got into the back, though, in that trial too. So the further they went, the better he did look. I'm a single man, Paul. This is one that you have thrown out. Did you like his trial up at Chung Fa?
Yeah, I did actually. Look, the horse is going really well. I just think he's going to get the best run from barrier number 2. He's just going to be in behind the leaders. Look, he just had a nice quiet trial. He was shaken up there and responded nicely enough. So, look, I think he's maybe a little bit of a smoke. He's well rated. And the run in the Classic Mile wasn't too bad. He did run 5th there.
It looked like his stablemate California Concord was going to go past him in the trial. What we don't see in this vision here is past the line. He actually goes a long way in front. He's still doing plenty of work after the line. We see a little bit of it here, but even right around the bend, he's done plenty of work there. So he's obviously fit and ready.
Back to the races we go now, Tom. Here is Senor Toba. This is a much better guide on him as opposed to that trial we just saw, and hit the shot. He also comes out of this race. He's in those purple and yellow colours out wide.
Yeah, well, Senor Toba, he missed a run due to a lame left hind issue, so he's had 2 trials since his last start to run, and he needed every inch of the Sha Tin 2,000 metres to get there and run down Enjoying. I probably don't think you can really big note on beating Enjoying, because he hasn't exactly been a standout performer here in Hong Kong. And he keeps missing the start as well, Paul, so that's a problem for him.
Yeah, he looks a real doer horse, doesn't he? And the further the better for him. So, look, I just with that missing that run, it's just a little bit of a query for me coming into this race. I know he's come up quite short early.
Now, here's some track work too, Paul. He's alongside Nakoni County, who has trialled up rather impressively, even though he hasn't raced in Hong Kong yet.
No, he's a rating 67 horse, Nakoni County. So, look, he did what he had to do in this trial, and they hit the line nicely. So, no, not trial, it's a piece of work. So, it wasn't a bad piece of work for him.
And Tom, finally, here's Money Catcher again. This is on race day. He's in behind the leader here, and he's at 1,800 metres for the second time in this country.
Yeah, and he struck a bit of trouble here. Just to keep an eye on him, he's in behind the horse in the red and white there. He's going for an inside run. There is a gap there, and then he just sort of balks a couple of times and hits the rail and does a couple of things wrong. So he has been back to the trial, as we saw in the vision just a few moments ago. But I didn't think this was the worst of runs, Paul. He will have to find a little bit, but he's a promising horse, I think, in the making. Yeah,
he stayed on nice. He's another one that looks like an out-and-out star, doesn't he? He's just a rating 78 horse at the moment. You're sort of taking him on what rating he's going to get to, because he's up against 100-plus rated horses already.
He did run second in the Avondale Guineas over 2,100 prior to arriving. We need some selections, Paul, and we start with yours.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the Irishman, buy Tavistock out of his Zabeel mare. The 1,800 is not going to be a problem for him. So he's on top, and he's gone really well in all 3 runs here in Hong Kong. He's drawn wide, but he gets back, so it's not going to be inconvenience to him. I'm a single man. I think it's just going to be in the right place. And if California Spangle does try and stack them up a bit, I think it might help. I'm a single man just in behind. California Spangle, the thing with him is the 1,800 metres. We know he's a class horse. It's just whether he can run out a strong 1,800. And Romantic Warrior, just worried about the draw with him, so that's why he's only in there for 4th. 3, 4, 1 and 2.
It's hang tough for here with the Romantic Warrior horse number 2 to go back-to-back in the first 2 legs of the 4-year-old Classic Series over California Spangle. I was a bit questioning his ability, maybe up to 1,600 metres, but he saw it out, so I'll take a punt with him again here, California Spangle, the Irishman and Money Catcher there at a bigger price. So 2, 1, 3 and 10.
There you have it, the preview for the 2022 Classic Cup. We're off to a break here on Racing to Win. Back to have a look at race number 10 right after this. Welcome back to Racing to Win. Just before we get on with the show, a reminder about Hong Kong Direct this week. Nick caught up with Mick Kinnairn, the man who bought Romantic Warrior, one of the big chances of winning the Classic Cup. So go to hkjc.com, click on audio and video, and you'll find Hong Kong Direct there, and you can hear from Mick and what was the attraction as to the purchase around Romantic Warrior. Race number 10. And it is over the 1,200 metres. Trillion win, consistent, but never carried more than 127 pounds to victory. Winning Dreamers on the class drop. Silver Fig has won twice on the turf course and distance. Blaze Warrior's gone from the 4-year-old mile down to a class 2 for this, and CORDYCEPS 6, he's come from a class 3 to have his first look at class 2. California Rad draws a gate. Stoltz makes his Sha Tin debut. Winning Method is a 16-start maiden in this grade, but has placed 5 times. And Karying Master makes his first appearance on the Sha Tin turf since last April. This is a really good field, the last of the day, Tom. What does the speed map have as the leader?
The leaders, well, we've got Stoltz to go forward to here from Barrier 3. And well, Classic Unicorn's a horse that likes to go forward, but I think he's a bit suspect to over 1,200 metres, and he's been very hard to follow recently, Paul. Winning Dreamers back in trip, which I think will suit, but gate 14 is not ideal.
Yeah, hopefully you'll try and get some cover there. Look, there's going to be plenty of pace in this race with, as you mentioned, Classic Unicorn. Stoltz, who set a track record at Happy Valley over 1,000. California Red likes to go forward. Karying Master likes to go forward as well. So, yeah, I think it's going to be on the good side, good to far side there for sure.
Blake Shin had a terrific day winning the Group 1 with Russian Emperor last Sunday. This horse is a very promising Type 2. That is CORDYCEPS 6, and via Zoom, this is what Blake told Nick yesterday.
Blake, CORDYCEPS 6 is a horse who's been in great form recently down the straight at Sha Tin. He steps up in trip this weekend. He's a horse very much in form, and I imagine you're looking forward to him.
Yeah, very much so, Nick. Yeah, he's a horse with plenty of potential. He's building a really nice record. He's a young horse going places, I feel, and you know, he's made his way into Class 2 now, so he's tackling the big boys. So there's nowhere to hide for him. So we're going to see where he's at on the weekend. But I feel he's a horse with plenty of potential, and you know, I'm looking forward to seeing you know, where he sits against you know, a great bunch of horses in the field on Sunday.
What's your take on the trip, Blake? I mean, 1,000 to 12. He's done all of his racing exclusively over 1,000 metres. Do both you and Richard think he will get the extra distance?
Look, I'm not sure what Richard thinks, but I can only speak for myself. But you know, from my point of view, you know, he possesses all the qualities to run 1,200. I believe he's pretty push button to ride. He settles really well. He conserves his energy. Physically, he's a strong type, and he runs through the line really well, which is what you'd like to see, especially when you're asking a horse to extend out in distance. So every indication to me is he will run the distance, but you know, that question will be answered on Sunday.
Yeah, it certainly is a key trait for him, I think, and a positive one, that he does hit the line so well. Obviously, the family, Blake, have won up to a mile, so there is stamina in that pedigree. On the form basis of that race, I mean, you had WizKid behind you last time. He's come out and won recently at the Valley.
Sure. Yeah, look, WizKid won Wednesday night really impressively. And look, my horse gave WizKid 16 pounds, and you know, I just think that speaks volumes for CORDYCEPS 6's ability and where he's going, you know, in Hong Kong. And, you know, I think he's going to end up at a very high level. And, you know, hopefully on Sunday he can just take another step towards where I believe he can end up.
There he is, Blake Shin. Paul, you were all over him last time. The step up to 200 metres, no issue in Blake's eyes. What about yours?
No, none at all. I think 1,200 looks ideal for him at this stage of his campaign. Look, he's only rated 88. I think there's plenty of rating points in him as well. And and he goes back down to weight. He only has to carry 121.
OK, we move on, Tom, to our first replay. We've got Winning Dreamer, who, as you mentioned, has drawn wide. Trillium Win has the big weight. California Rad's finally got a draw. We've also got Fantastic Way and Wind and Grass coming out of this replay.
In all these horses here, of course, chasing home California Spangle. I didn't think it was a bad run from Trillium Win here. He was only beaten a length and a half. He has trialled since. I think he needs to go. And I'm a fan of Winning Dreamer, Paul, but gate 14 makes it awkward. And Fantastic Way, on what he's been doing, he probably has to be a must include as well.
Yeah, I've got Fantastic Way and Trillium Win both in the numbers. I think they're both going pretty well. And Trillium Win as well, obviously, is up 19 pounds, actually.
And this horse has been burning up Happy Valley. Paul Stoltz.
Yeah, look, he has, and he's been going really well. But 1,000 at Happy Valley up to 1,200 at Sha Tin is a different beast whatsoever. It's just whether he can run out a strong 1,200.
I think he should be able to, from what we've seen so far. Stoltz, he's looked quite progressive. He's acclimatised to the situation here in Hong Kong quickly, and you can see 4 starts here, 2 wins and 2 seconds, so you can't really ask for much more than that.
He did win over 1,200 at Wyong prior to arriving as well. Winning Method got a much-deserved win last time, Tom, but he has struggled to win in this grade. He
has. You look at his record, 16 starts. He's placed on numerous occasions, but never won. He was pulling up last start again with blood in the trachea, so internally, obviously, a little bit of an issue for him, but powered home here, Paul, to beat the the runner.
Yeah, a nice win from him, but look, there's been a long time between drinks for this horse, so I just wonder if he can put 2 together.
Blaze Warrior, Paul. Interesting horse. Set the world on fire when he came onto the scene. Since then, he's just tempered a little bit with his form.
Yeah, he has, hasn't he? Look, I mean, he's been in strong races. I'm a Single Man, Packing Victory and Romantic Warrior, but his form's just dropped off a little bit. He's drawn 13. That's just a query I had with him.
I'll take a chance with him here. Back in trip to 1,200 metres, he's 2 from 2 course and distance. I actually quite like the trial as well. He looked to be under a good enough hold going to the line there. So, look, Keith Young riding for barrier 13. I think he'll be trying to look for some cover from that sort of draw, and I think he can get it into off that trial runner a good race.
Straight to the tips, Paul.
Yeah, I like CORDYCEPS 6. I think he can win this. Stepping up to 1,200 looks good for me. Fantastic ways, going well. Trillium win and Stoltz. 8, 4, 1 and 10.
6, 10, 8 and 4. I'll take a chance with the Blaze Warrior in this final race. He's on top ahead of number 10, Stoltz, 8, CORDYCEPS 6 and 4, Fantastic Way. 6, 10, 8 and 4.
They are races 8 and 10 previewed here on Racing to Win. Of the other 8, Paul, who are some of the winners?
Yeah, that's pretty even fields earlier on, I thought, throughout them. I really like looking forward to the clash between Brilliant Way and Leslie. I thought Brilliant Way has really improved since his run. Also, Oriental Smoke's going pretty well. And I'm going to take a chance with Handsome 12 at a big price.
And you can see a breakdown in each and every one of those races at hkjc.com. Click on the audio and video tab and you can go race by race through them. It is that part of the show. Paul, we need a best bet, we need a long shot and to play, please.
CORDYCEPS 6, so I'm going to go with CORDYCEPS 6, one we just talked about. I think he can win the last 4 wins from his 9 starts. And Handsome 12, he's got a really lightweight, this horse, and comes on the all-weather for the first time. We'll need a bit of luck, but he should be a massive price. Do the play in the last Trillium win, Fantastic Way. CORDYCEPS 6, QQP 1, 4 and 8.
Best Me comes up in the feature race. We'll go with Romantic Warrior, race 8, number 2, Sha Tin and Danny Shum to extend his winning streak. Long shot in the last race with Blaze Warrior. Keith Young riding for John Size. They don't often team up. And the play with Leslie, the banker, and a QQP with those other 4 horses, 1, 6, 7, 8.
Fortune Happiness is in a Class 5, so what could possibly go wrong? It is over the 1,200 metres. He's got a good record over the 1,200. He drops in grade. We Are Hero won on the synthetic at Pakenham prior to arriving as an odds-on favourite. Will make him the long shot after his debut over 1,000 and race 5. Everyone's Victory, We Are Hero and Lightning Bolt is the QQP. Should have mentioned, Tom, at the start of the show, Joe Moreira back this Sunday.
Yeah, he is, and of course Zach was able to put another chink in his lead the other day at Happy Valley, so Zach's now 1 up over Joe.
Yeah, and bring on the Classic Cup.
Absolutely, that will be race number 8. That has been Racing to Win. We wish you all the best of luck at Sha Tin on this Sunday. There is 10 races. It's the usual start time. We'll see you for the first from Sha Tin at 1 o'clock. From the Racing to Win team, it's bye-bye.